The uniform, the dress, the cake, the promise of a house, 3 kids, and a golden retriever. For generations, this wasn't just a goal. For men, it was the goal, the finish line, proof you'd made it. But let me ask you a question, and be honest with yourself. Does that picture feel more like a blueprint for your life, or a relic in a museum? Welcome, gentlemen. Today we're asking a bold question. Is traditional marriage dying? And if it is, what in the world comes next for us, for relationships, in 2025 and beyond? This isn't about bashing marriage. It's about understanding the tectonic plates shifting beneath our feet. Strap in. The evidence. A statistical divorce. First, let's talk facts, because without them, we're just guys complaining at a bar. Fact 1. According to the Pew Research Center, as of 2021, only about half of American adults were married. Compare that to 1960, when it was 72%. That's a seismic drop. Fact 2. We're marrying later. The median age for a first marriage for men is now over 30. In 1960, it was 23. We're getting more life experience before we even consider saying, I do. Fact 3. The divorce rate. While it's not the 50% statistic you always hear, it's actually been declining, especially for younger generations. It's still a reality for a significant number of couples. And for men in our age bracket, those in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, we've seen it. We've lived it. We've been through our own divorces or watched our friends go through absolute hell. So, the institution is shrinking, we're delaying it, and the financial and emotional risks are glaringly obvious. The model is stressed. Why? The why. The world changed, and men changed with it. It's not one thing. It's a perfect storm. 1. Economic independence. For centuries, marriage was, frankly, an economic necessity for women. Today, women are out earning men in many major metropolitan areas. They're CEOs, entrepreneurs, and primary breadwinners. They don't need a husband for financial survival. So the question becomes, what do they want? And what do we want when the pressure to be the sole provider is off? 2. The legal shift. No-fault divorce. This was a game changer. It gave both parties, but particularly women, a way out of unhappy marriages without having to prove abandonment or cruelty. This raised the stakes. Marriage was no longer a life sentence, but a partnership that had to be actively rewarding for both people. For men, this meant we couldn't just be a paycheck. We had to be a partner. 3. The expansion of purpose. For our grandfathers, identity was simple. Job, family, end of story. For us, we're told to find our passion, optimize our health, travel the world, build a side hustle. Our purpose is no longer handed to us with a wedding ring. We have more options for a meaningful life than ever before. And that complicates the decision to fully merge your identity with another person. The new landscape. What's emerging in 2025? So, if the old model is fading, what's taking its place? This is where we put on our futurist hats. I see 3 major trends accelerating in 2025. Trend 1, the rise of living apart together, LAT. This is a big one for our demographic, especially for men who've been through a divorce. You're in a committed, monogamous relationship, but you keep your own houses. You have your space, your sanctuary, your things arranged exactly as you like them. You come together because you want to, not because you have to. For men who value their independence but don't want to be alone, this is a powerful compromise. It solves the friction over chores, personal time, and that need for a man cave that's actually just your whole cave. Trend 2, the relationship anarchist or designer relationship. This sounds radical, but the core idea is simple. You and your partners design the rules of your relationship. It's not about following a template from 1955. This could mean a sexually open marriage, a deeply committed partnership that chooses not to marry legally, or a polygamous structure. The key is conscious communication and customization. For men who chafe against predefined roles, this offers a sense of control and authenticity. It's not for everyone, but it's a growing part of the conversation. Trend 3, the focus on satisficing versus soulmating. This is a psychological term. Maximizers are the guys swiping endlessly on dating apps, always looking for the next best thing, the perfect soulmate. It's exhausting and leads to paralysis. Satisficers, on the other hand, look for a partner who is good enough across the most important criteria: respect, kindness, shared values, good chemistry. They understand that perfection is a myth and that a deep, lasting love is built, not found. In 2025, with dating apps creating an illusion of infinite choice, I believe smart men will become satisficers. They'll value peace and partnership over the exhausting search for perfection. The opportunity, a better deal for men? Now, you might be hearing this and thinking, this sounds complicated. I just want things to be simple. I get it. But what if this shift is actually a massive opportunity for men? Think about it. The old model came with a rigid job description: provider, protector, emotionally stoic. Your needs were often an afterthought. The new model, for all its complexity, demands something different, and frankly, more rewarding. It demands emotional intelligence. Your value is no longer just what you bring home in a paycheck. It's your ability to listen, to communicate, to be vulnerable, to be a true partner. These are skills that make you a better father, a better friend, and a more whole human being. It demands authenticity. You can't just play a role anymore. You have to show up as yourself. If you love restoring old cars, or need a weekend alone fishing, or don't want to get married again, you can build a relationship where that's not just tolerated, but celebrated. You negotiate your needs openly. It demands purpose beyond the family. This is huge. When your entire identity isn't tied to being a husband, you are forced to answer the question, who am I? This leads men to dive deeper into their health, their friendships, their missions in the world. It can lead to a richer, more multidimensional life. The prediction: the future is flexible. So, here's my final guess for the future. Traditional marriage won't die. It will become a niche choice, like buying a vinyl record instead of streaming music. Some people will still choose it, and for them, it will be a beautiful, intentional decision. Not a default, but a conscious commitment to a specific form. But for the majority of men in our age group, the future of relationships is about flexibility and intention. It will be less about checking a box, I'm married, and more about answering a question. Does this relationship add meaning, joy, and support to my life? The goalposts have moved. The goal is no longer just to get married. The goal is to be in a relationship that works, on your terms, with a partner who respects you as a complete individual. Conclusion. The death of traditional marriage isn't a tragedy, gentlemen. It's an evolution. It's the end of a one-size-fits-all model and the beginning of an era of choice. It's more work. It requires more communication, more self-awareness, and more courage to define what you truly want. But for the man who is willing to do that work, the potential reward is a relationship that isn't a cage, but a foundation. A partnership that supports the life you've built, rather than being the only thing you've built. The script is being rewritten. The question is, what role will you choose to play? What are your thoughts? Are you seeing these trends in your own life? Let's have a real conversation down in the comments. And if this got you thinking, hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps.